we move ahead. Now I will invite Ashish Kakri, who is the founder of HR Shapers, for the second panel discussion. He has 3 people in this panel, and the topic is also very interesting. But before I hand over to Ashish, I must say I know Ashish since now more than 15 years, and it has been great knowing him. I have seen him growing from, I don't know what to say, from a small position to where he is right now. He has created an amazing HR Shapers group of almost about 10,000 or 15,000 HR professionals across the globe, and many of you have joined only because of him. Over to you, Ashish. Please add something to the introduction and also introduce the topic and the 3 panel members.
Okay, so thanks, Mehul, and congratulations on the celebration of Silver Jubilee. So I'm proud to announce that I'm proud to inform all of you that Grace Hills was my second employer. So Mehul has been good coach and mentor for me. Once again, congratulations, Mehul, and thanks for supporting this World HRD Congress, this event. And we have seen good speaker, good knowledge sharing, very informative session since morning. So here we come to afternoon. There is no so topic is very interesting, everyone. So the topic is talent and career management in the new normal. Okay. Let me introduce all 3 speakers first. So here is always start with ladies first. Anjali Menon, she's based in Malaysia, and she is from Nestle. She is a HR expert and leader. So I will cut it short, as I said. So Anjali, sorry if I miss out anything in your introduction. You can cover it, while you talk about it. So she originally graduated as a computer engineer, PG in HR, and she has covered out her career path to being an incredible HR expert known for her result-focused, collaborative, and inclusive initiative. In the last 2 years, Anjali has set up and is leading the Nestle Talent Center for Competency for APEC and African region that cover 40 plus countries. Amazing, Anjali. And she has culturally diverse team of members from 9 different nationalities working in semi-virtual environment, delivering talent acquisition, recruitment, marketing, employer branding, leadership, coaching, mentoring, D&I, professional and functional capability building solution, and she is currently based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Sorry, I didn't touch upon how we are going to discuss in next half an hour. So yes, as I reading the profile, so Anjali will be first one to talk about it. Then we'll go to the next speaker from Nigeria, then the next speaker from Zimbabwe. I just like to touch upon a couple of points on the topic. Recession lead to the great rebalancing, and COVID has taught us that talent is much more needed. We have seen there are many industries who wanted to work, but only because of the talent they are not able to work. And there are various points in the talent we can talk about, like gig worker, remote working, tech-savvy talent, and we have seen organization not giving increment, promotion, no bonus, people working beyond working hours. We would like to hear from all the panelists how the talent has been redefined now in the COVID era and what will happen post. So as I Anjali, so Anjali would like to hear from you, then I will go to the next speaker.
Hello, thanks a lot, Ashish, and happy to be here with all of you. Okay, so I think it's quite interesting to look at what all has changed, and Ashish has covered briefly with the COVID situation. In principle, what we see is at a very high level, and I was listening to other speakers as well, the sense of time as something which has undergone a big change for a lot of us because we are not moving around, it's sort of stopped. The sense of planning has something which has gone a big change because how do people plan, short term or long term? And then the third important thing, which is coming from an organization perspective, is a sense of workplace. How all this translates to an organization when we talk about talent and competency management is very, very critical. And in terms of talent management, because of the COVID situation, as I spoke about the sense of planning, it has become much more short term. we were in a state of disruption. The gig economy had become really big. The workforce is merging, external, internal. We cannot separate between it much more anyhow. But now, with everything changing month on month, where the predictability is so low, the whole principles on talent management and succession management, etc., which were going on in organizations are just thrown out of the window. So how does it work for the organizations? What do we do about it? And what do individuals do about it for their own career and development and growth? And that's where this whole factor of agility becomes very critical. I did hear some of the speakers also speaking about. And that's where perhaps the model of the talent management in the organizations are going through a transition where you can think about very short term and how you can move people across projects and the teams, how you can have this concept of fluid teams going on, where people's experiences is what is valued. Experience not in terms of years of experience, but experience in terms of skills and capabilities that they have gained along the way. And that's where it completely changes the way careers are being seen. Because traditionally we see careers as progressing from one level to another level, more vertical, sometimes lateral, but now it's like a network. You understand something, you learn something, and then because of your experiences, you can be taken for some specific project. So you could have been an IT person who did sometime a customer facing role. And because you have done this, now you are suitable for doing, working for a project team, maybe who's trying to work on a marketing launch of some assignment. So how does an organization establish these mechanisms of skills and competency where people can pool this together and they can as their skills together, and then you select and assign them rapidly and move them across. This typically has a very strong influence of performance management, again, because we are very used to having cyclic annual processes. So annual processes are completely out of order. They don't make any sense anymore. So these are few thoughts I would like to start off with, and I'll definitely like to pass on to other panelists and we can continue the conversation. Thanks, Ashish.
Thanks, Anjali. So that was really short, brief. Yes, we will have some question also. And so let me move to now the next speaker. So as I said, we have 3 speakers, 2 dynamic HR professionals from Africa region. So here is Emmanuel, who's a great friend of mine. So Emmanuel is based in Zimbabwe. He's Chief HR Disruptor and Advisor, 3rd Eye Africa Consulting Group. So Emmanuel, welcome to the panelist. And I can read his education. He hold his master in strategic management, bachelor degree in HR management. He is very well known in the Zimbabwe HR circle. And I just like to hand over to Emmanuel and share the views on the talent and career management in the new normal. Let me involve another dynamic HR leader who's part of our panelist. So here is Ibem. Idika. Ibem, hope I'm able to pronounce your name. Welcome to.
Thank you, Ashish.
Yeah. So okay. Yes, Ibem, welcome to the panelist. So he is global HR and development expert and international for workforce trainer in development. He is the founder and director CHCD Nigeria Center for Human Capital Development and non-profit, which advocate for increased investment in the human capital as a driver for economic growth. He has a 20 years of experience in HR through public sector, NGOs, CT, telecom, courier, power utility, consulting, real estate. So Ibem, over to you. Would like to hear your views on the topic of talent management and career new normal.
Okay. Thank you, Ashish, for having me. And thank you, Mehul, for the great conference you have put together. Now, from my perspective, the major thing that has happened, the major disruption of work caused by the pandemic, the COVID-19, has greatly accelerated remote work. We all know that, as well as a rise in the gig economy. Now, everything everybody planned originally, people are having to make contingent plans and all that. And I will allude to what the previous speaker said, in terms of short-term plans. There is no long-term plan that you can make now and be sure that you won't have curveballs thrown at you. So for instance, looking forward now, the major thing organizations need to be thinking about is determining what are the right skill mix going forward. Because a lot of new competencies and skills have arisen. For instance, the issue of resilience. You need to be looking at people who are quite resilient and all that, in terms of your workforce. And also, once you get the right skill mix in terms of role redesign and all that, what are the job roles that are possibly location agnostic, that basically you can have to manage the incumbents who are currently on those roles and find new ways, to deploy the talent. Because of the rise in remote work and gig economy, it would be nice if we guide some of the staff who work in these roles into new careers, and some of them ultimately can become gig workers. Of course, it's going to drive down your costs. It's also going to give the employees more free time to do other things, and there's a win-win created for every single person. In terms of the planning, like the previous speaker said, the plans which we had for long term, basically now we need to take them in short bursts of short-term plans, taking into consideration a lot of contingencies because of the unfolding events. We are riding out of the storm currently, and we're not completely out of the storm. We are not certain where the road is leading yet in the nearest future. But whatever plans organizations need to make now as far as talent is concerned have to do a lot with, reskilling, staff to take on new roles, because a lot of organizations have gone digital, digitalization of processes, as well as those that probably will be affected by technology. You can find that there are certain organizations who have gone completely digital, and most of their work is being done remotely right now. So the roles that probably may have been affected as a result of the outcome of the COVID, you find a way to manage those careers into new areas, as well as reskilling your current staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibem. I'm just looking at whether Emmanuel is. Hey, Emmanuel, welcome to.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, fine. Hope you are able to log in. I'm happy to see you. So yes.
Thank you so much.
So let me. Okay, I read your profile, but let me cut it short. Okay, so here is Emmanuel. He's the Chief HR Disruptor and Advisor for Third Eye Africa Consulting Group. He is recognized as an outstanding HR professional in Southern Africa with over 8 years experience as facilitator and trusted advisor. He's a good friend of mine. Emmanuel, so over to you now.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to share my views on this platform. Congratulations to Grey Cells. In short, the world of work has changed drastically because of the COVID-19. The new normal, which the people were expecting, is now here. And as an organization, we have to embrace ourselves in terms of all the HR practice so that we adapt and survive. COVID-19 has changed how the technology is moving. Technology which we're expecting 10 years now, we are actually embracing them now so that we keep pace and we adapt to what is happening. So in line with talent management on the new normal, there are about 6 things that I have noticed they've changed. Let's talk of talent acquisition and retention, the way it was being done and the way it is being done now, and the way it is going to be done. There's going to be a total shift of the old ways of doing things to the new shift, so that we also cope with the new technology. We talk of learning and motivation. We talk of career development. There is a great shift in terms of attracting and retaining high quality employees, developing their skills, as well as continuously motivating them to improve performance. Earlier on in the morning, I'm the one who threw the question that how best can we motivate someone who is working from home? So it's actually a paradigm shift of what we used to know. It's a paradigm shift of all the practices that we used to do. We have to adapt with the new norm. So to me, the new norm is not normal, and it's actually not normal in the sense that the practices which you used to do, there is a need to shift them so that we have agile HR practices. The moment we have agile HR practices, it will enable us also to create agile workforce, which will sync with the current environment. I think, in short, that's all what I can say in the new norm, in talent development, career management in the new norm.
Thank you, Emmanuel. So thanks for joining. So here is one question to all of you. Okay, so when we are talking about career development, career kind of progression is actually taken a back seat. Okay, because no promotion, no increment, bonus are not paid. Being in the company, there is one set of people who are unemployed. Then there is one set of people who are actually overused. They are working beyond working hours. So what is the best way, you guys are doing something to motivate the talent, encourage, they are being productive and they are seeing some, hope of light in terms of growth. I'm talking about the growth here. Actually, growth is only the important thing. Otherwise, we all know that we are working for survival only. Let me start with, okay, again, ladies first, Anjali.
Thanks, Ashish. I think this thing of no promotion, no salary increment actually is, we cannot apply it as a blanket thing across organizations, because that's the whole point. In this situation, how is an organization thinking? Because this is also a point of looking at and saying, yes, it's a grim situation. We have the issues, the business has become unpredictable. But are we trying to cut down on short-term things, like cut down on cost on the short term, and then the business suffers, which is very risky, because what happens is you end up losing the best performers at this point of time if you do that. Or other aspect is that you say that, okay, this is the point of time for us to really reset the way we have looked at talents in the organization. So the first thing is about prioritizing and saying that where do we need people to invest? What's the business need? And that's what I was talking about, looking at what are the experiences your resources have. And this is the point when we pick up people and put them into where the focus is needed. I'll take an example. If we are an FMCG organization, at this point of time, we really need people to be on the field, right? As much as they can. So what do we need to do for them? We need to ensure some basics like the safety. And the safety is not only safety from a physical safety perspective, it is really from a psychological safety. So as an organization, one of the important things that the leaders need to do for managing the talent as well is communication, coming out really very transparent. I was listening to this message from the previous speaker, Anjali Sharma, in terms of storytelling. So when the situation is really bad, communication is very, very critical. To come out and say, what is the priority and where do we need you to support as a team member? And then coming to a point of saying that this is what we need the organization to focus on. This is the capabilities that we need, and probably that's how you can progress. So who are the people who are needed for today and for now they can work for you? And then who are the people you might need in the shorter term, 6 months down the line, ABC. And if not, what is the gap? And many organizations, what they're using is they're using this as an opportunity for capability building. My co-panelist spoke about technology. So you can adopting technology, great opportunity to do that. You can also look at upskilling people and telling them, hey, this is the reality, that's the situation. You really need to come up and upskill. Otherwise, you are going to get redundant, not only for the current job, but for your future as well. So how do you create that transparent communication? How do you create that sense of urgency is very, very critical for managing the talent, and also identifying this is the time when an organization gets to know who are the true top talent. Because in a crisis, there are certain people who will rise, and this is the future of work. It is today. The future has come today. And who are the people who are able to deliver? Who are the people who are able to have the resilience to stay and make a difference? And that can redefine your future talent, because earlier it was all about consistency, performance, years of experience. Now it's about agility, it's about complexity management, and it's about handling stress and resilience. how can you really bounce back? So the whole part of looking at potential of the people from a talent perspective is changing, and it is becoming much more important than, say, the past performance. It's really about potential in today's dates, and that's what I will highlight. And that's what we are, and every organization is trying to do and understand. How do you get the potential and make them grow? So making the segregation in our talent and putting in skill capability building paths for them is the most critical aspect for companies to do, and giving them the psychological safety. Thank you.
Thanks, Anjali. But my one question to quickly, and would want Emmanuel and Ibem to just cover up in less than 30 or 60 seconds. How to keep and manage a balance between collective and individual motivation. Quickly, we want your views, Emmanuel and IBM, in within 60 seconds. How to keep and manage balance between collective and individual motivation.
Thank you. Crisis reveals who good leaders are. Crisis reveals what good practices are. Only the best leaders that will provide good leadership qualities that will enable employees to be engaged and motivated are the leaders that will be in a position to keep their employees engaged now during the COVID and post-COVID. There are a lot of strategies that I want to proffer to the listeners who are HR practitioners. Number one, collaboration. We are in a digital world. Let's do meetings here and there continuously. Normally, when you're in a crisis, employees need to be heard. Employees need comfort. There is no way you can be a good leader if you don't comfort your employees here and there always. Let's also talk about the issue which was said: no pay, no promotion, no profit. I actually believe that it's not true. Not all the companies were affected by COVID-19, because actually some companies saved more because of this pandemic. But let not employers take advantage of the pandemic to make the employees suffer, because those employees are your internal customers. These are the employees that you will need again in the future after post-COVID. We talk of communication. When we are in a pandemic, employees need to be updated here and there. They need to know the strategy of the organization. They need to know where we are going. There are a lot of practices and strategies that we can embody to organizations, that we make sure that our employees are engaged during this COVID-19. Failure to do that will face a situation where we will think that employees are working from home while they are sleeping at home. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Anjali. IBM, I'd like to end the session, and I think what is coming out. Everybody is talented. Not every company which is affected, and there are still companies who are taking care of talent and taking care of the career progression of all our talent. Because in the organization there is one word which is said, okay, someone is talented, someone is not. But I think that word is no more now. Okay, so thank you, Anjali, Emmanuel, joining from different countries. Now I'd like to hand over to Mehul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish, for that great session and meaningful discussions that we had.